Holy Spirit, activate. Hey, yo, what it do? Welcome back to another episode of Elevation Talks. Y'all, I don't know if y'all can hear the birds chirping in the background, but we outside in the field today. Yeah, man, I wanted to bring y'all on my walk, man. These have been some of the most just peaceful and resetting things that I've been doing for myself lately. Like really just been adding stuff like this to my self-care program that I'm doing. And I can honestly say, y'all, this right here has been one of the most refreshing and resetting things I've done. Not just all year, but I'm gonna say in general. You know how some of us, we always need like a vacation, we need a getaway, and sometimes you're not always in a position to take a vacation or do a getaway real quick or whatever the situation is, but just know that there are quick getaways and resets that you can do right wherever you at, in your neighborhood, in your city. Like, you ain't gotta go out of town just to get some fresh air, you know what I'm saying? And so today, one of the things that I really wanna lean into is becoming, right? And so if y'all been following me, y'all already know every year I have a word of the year. And last year I had 3 words. This year I got 2 words. And my 2 words for the year is forward and all in. And so these words of the year are super important for me because basically what I'll do is at the beginning of every year, I fast, I pray, I take time to really see the direction that God want to move in my life. Like, the words of the year are a great way for me to kind of be able to see where we going this year, what we working towards, right? So all in and forward are the 2 words that I've been going with this year. And I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. This year, whoo, boy. Man, if you've been following me, you know I've been building for a very long time, right? And the clarity that I've been getting this season, I mean, wow. And it's only because of the obedience that I've been practicing. Y'all, when I tell y'all, like, I've been so focused on my own personal growth, right? And this has actually been something that I've been focused on for a long time. But I'm not even gonna lie. I kept getting stuck in loops. That's what I call them, loops. And so I realized recently, over the last maybe 9 or 10 months, the reason I've been getting stuck in these loops is because my decision-making skills. Now, if we're gonna all keep it 100, we know that oftentimes we always lean toward what's familiar, even if it's not something that we really want. I'm gonna speak for myself. When I don't want to cook, which is most of the time because I got burnt out from cooking, the first thing I want to do, I'll be like, man, I want something really good, right? And so I'll see what's around me, and it's nothing but fast food restaurants. Now, truth be told, I don't want fast food restaurants, right? But it's convenient. It's easier for me to go and spend X amount of money at a fast food restaurant than it would be for me to actually figure out what type of restaurant I actually want to sit down and eat at. Do I want to spend more money there? XYZ. Now, keep in mind, I had said I wanted something really good. And I know me, I don't really care for fast food, but I lean into fast food. Why? Because it's convenient, it's available, and I didn't have to make it, right? And so I realized that's how you start settling. And as you start realizing even just the little things that you settle on, little things turn into big things. I can give you an example. When it comes to relationships, I know that I am the type of person that I need the type of person who understands that I'm a blueprint, right? Understands that my journey is not like everybody else's journey, and I need them to be able to lean in a way that makes me safe, but also be able to continue to push me so that I can continue to grow to be my highest self, but also be able to tell me when to chill. You know what I'm saying? My biggest thing is I do not believe in being stagnant, right? Because for me, my reality is when you in the wilderness season, you feel stuck, right? So I don't want to have to be stuck when I don't have to be stuck, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff is in your control and some stuff is out of your control. But when it came to relationships, I was always choosing potential over reality. Like, I'm a dream chaser, right? And so not only am I a dream chaser, like I am a execution strategist. Like I get stuff done. And not only do I get it done, I get it done well. You know what I'm saying? And so I always tell my friends and my partners, hey, don't tell me about any goals or ideas that you want to execute on because I'm going to help you. I'm going to push you. If you tell me you want to do XYZ, I'm going to be the person that's going to help you lean in. And that's actually one of the things that's been burning me out because everybody is not assigned to me, right? And I just picked up this habit of wanting to help everybody that I pretty much come across or that's in my circle because I'm not even going to lie, y'all. I'm going to put y'all in my business. I've always known I was going to be somebody, right? But one of the things I've always heard was, yo, it's lonely at the top. And I don't know about you, but for me, that don't sound good because as a blueprint, I've spent a lot of time feeling alone. So I'm thinking, you know what? Instead of me being at the top alone, let me lean into the people that's connected to me, right? And push them. Even when they don't want to be pushed, push them. And it's just like, yo, that's not your assignment. And it took me a long time to recognize that and accept that because I noticed what it started doing. It started draining me. When I started seeing people not take their personal growth as serious as I was, like taking their purpose as serious as I am, like really leaning into their spiritual journey as much as I am, like it didn't make me look at them a certain type of way, but it was just like, dang, man, I'm trying to like run it up and I want you to run it up with me, but you're not really focused. You know what I'm saying? You're not really serious about running it up. And so what I didn't think about was the people that I would meet along the way on the journey, right? And so when I decided to stop pushing people, that were no longer assigned to me, the weight started falling off of me, literally and mentally. Like, when I just started focusing on me becoming who I've been called to be so that I can do what I've been called to do, God started placing people in certain points on my journey. And whether it just be for a season or a few seasons, but he started giving me people to run it up with that I didn't have to fight with to grow. You understand what I'm saying? And so it made me start really understanding how and why it is so important for you to become, right? One of the reasons it's important for you is so if you don't lean into becoming, you're gonna keep stunting your own growth. Now, come on, like, let's just keep it 100. How many times have you watched somebody else win and deep down you thought, damn, that could have been me? Y'all, man, let me, listen, and I ain't even talking about like on no jealousy stuff, like more like frustration, because part of you know that you're capable of more. But for whatever reason, you keep hesitating, overthinking, delaying, shrinking, or staying attached to the version of yourself that keeps yourself safe. Meanwhile, life keeps moving, opportunities keep moving, and people around you keep evolving. And so, shoot, eventually, you gotta be honest and ask yourself, am I actually stuck, or am I just resisting the process of becoming? Like, if we're gonna like be for real, motion and progress are not the same thing. I used to, my homeboy used to had this phrase. He would say, slow motion is better than no motion. And I used to say it too, because it sounded good. But as I continued to go deeper on my journey, I started realizing that just because you moving, that don't mean you having forward movement, right? The only movement that matter is forward movement, because that's how you really begin to see progress. A lot of people aren't lacking movement, they're lacking forward movement. Because I'm telling you, come on, like, how many of us be busy all day and still avoiding the decision that would actually move life forward? Like, come on, like, I'm telling y'all, man, like, God told me I was gonna be an author and speaker, right? And to keep it 100 with you, I just thought I was just gonna be jumping on stages. And I'm thinking that because it's like, oh, boom, God called me, right? Now, when he first called me, I knew I wasn't qualified to be an author or a speaker. I'm like, bro, come on, stop playing, get somebody else to do it. But I didn't know that he was gonna require me over time to actually start working on the skills that would help me become a better author and speaker. So what did I do? I've had my podcast for about 3 years, right? This finna blow some of y'all mind. I done had my podcast for about 3 years. This last 9 or 10 months has been the most consistent I've ever been on the podcast. I'm gonna tell you why. When I first started, now keep in mind, for those of y'all that know me or don't know me, I do production. Like, I'm a showrunner, I'm an executive producer. So I am known for making people's stuff look good and feel good. Like, that's my reputation, right? So when it came to my stuff, I'm like, oh, well, shoot, you know, we got to come out real heavy, real BIG, because it's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, people gonna be like, okay, boom, this the executive producer, this is Nay. Like, shoot, her stuff gotta be A1 because she make everybody else stuff A1. The problem with that thought is, I'm not starting with what everybody else got, right? I don't have the budget for the equipment. I don't have the extra room for a studio, or, you know, we renting out studio time XYZ. And so I started using my resources, right? Like, oh, let me get this nice studio. Let me do this, let me do that. And it's like, yo, don't start trying to perfect the platform before you start crafting the message. And that's what I was doing. I wasn't concerned about the message that I was giving, because it's just like, oh, it's gonna be raw, it's gonna be conversation, it's gonna be good. But it's like, yo, just because you're on the microphone and you've been called to speak, that don't always mean that it's gonna be good. You still gotta put in that work. You still gotta lean in, right? And so I started leaning in, but it was inconsistent, because I started getting in my own head. I started overthinking. I started thinking about how unqualified I was to do this and why God got me out here. And I don't even speak well, and da-da-da-da-da. So I started shrinking myself. Nobody else ever told me, hey, you should stop doing this. Hey, you don't know what you're talking about. It's always been what I tell myself. And this is why you have to challenge what you are telling yourself. Who told you that? Who told you that you're not valuable? Who told you that your voice don't matter? Who told you you ain't got nothing to say? And it's like, it be those type of thoughts that keep us small and keep us stuck and keep us playing safe and where we at, right? And so, boom, it got to a point where I'm just having real conversations with God. We doing, you know, during my intentional time. And at some point, I hear him tell me, you're going to drop an episode on the podcast every week, and you're going to release an article every week. And I'm like, hold up. You want me to get on the podcast, drop an episode every week, and you want me to release an article on Medium every week? I'm like, man, I don't know. But even when I was unsure, I leaned in. And a lot of times, that's what you gotta do. You gotta lean in even when you're scared, even when you don't feel certain, even when you don't feel qualified. Lean in. And guess what? As you keep leaning in, you're gonna get better over time. Because now you're starting to work that skill, you're starting to work that muscle, you're starting to build, right? And so a lot of my friends and just different people on social media was hitting me up like, Nay, you need to get on the mic, you need to get on the mic. So boom, I started leaning in even more and getting on the mic. And fast forward, I've had people reach out to me like, yo, you are like a natural at being on the mic. Can you join my show? Can you get on TV? Can you do this? Can you do that? Same thing with my writing. Yo, come on, speak. I've been writing so much. I got selected to be a guest speaker at the Black Writers Weekend in Atlanta this year. And let me tell y'all how this is so dope, because the topic that I'm gonna be talking about, turning missteps into opportunities. And I said, man, this ain't nobody but God, because who better than me to talk about missteps? Who better than me to talk about how you can literally turn your situation around into a whole opportunity that you didn't even see was on the table initially. But see, that's the thing about us. Some of us don't start moving until we get the full plan, the full instructions. And if I'm going to be 100 with you, God don't operate like that. Not one time in the Bible have you seen him tell somebody, hey, here go the whole blueprint. Go ahead. He like, nah, when you get there, this was going to happen. Once you get there, ba-da-da-da-da-da. Like, as you start moving, he starts revealing. As you start working that muscle, he starts revealing more, because at this point, he can trust you with more. And I just want to pause and say this real quick. Every step that you take, you're showing God that he can trust you with more. When you're talking about leaning into you becoming who you've been called to be, this is not just about the calling on your life. This is about who you are supposed to be entirely. Like, we're not just talking about fruits for the calling. We're talking about fruits of everyday life, everyday relationships, everyday opportunities. And so that's why it's important for you to lean in, because if you don't, you'll continue to shrink yourself. You'll continue to be in, it's like you haven't outgrown an environment and you know you've outgrown that space. And so everything is just uncomfortable. Like the relationships, the friendships, the rooms, the job, everything just, sometimes it's uncomfortable because you've outgrown it. And when you outgrow things, the longer you hold on to it, the more you delay what's next for you. And that was a hard concept that I had to really sit with. The longer I hold on to what is no longer serving me, the longer I delay what is for me. And I'm just like, yo, this why I'm frustrated. This why I'm irritated. This why I'm burnt out. Because I know I want more and I should have more. But in order for me to have more, I have to let go of what I'm holding on to. And I know I ain't the only one, but I struggle with letting go up until recently. Because I done got tired of being sick and tired. I want more. I want what God has for me. And everybody can't go and everything can't go. You know what I'm saying? Another reason it's important for you to become, because becoming will force you to confront the version of yourself you've been protecting. Some people say they want growth, right? But the second growth starts exposing their habits, insecurities, inconsistencies, fear, ego, laziness, avoidance, or emotional immaturity, they retreat. Becoming sounds good until accountability enters the room. And let's be honest, sometimes the hardest part isn't starting over. It's admitting the current version of you isn't producing the life you keep saying you want. That's why people stay attached to environments, mindsets, and routines that clearly aren't helping them. Familiarity feels safer than transformation. You can't be somebody new while protecting every habit of the old you. Growth gets real when excuses stop feeling valid to you. And here's my final thing, and we're gonna go. At some point, you gotta stop overthinking life and start participating in it. Like, I can't tell you how many people are mentally exhausted because they live in their head all day long. Thinking, analyzing, planning, waiting for certainty, waiting to feel ready. Meanwhile, time keeps moving. And honestly, Overthinking can become another form of hiding. Because if you never fully move, you never have to fully risk failure, rejection, embarrassment, or disappointment. But becoming doesn't happen in theory, y'all. It happens in real decisions, real reps, real discomfort, real life. You do not grow from watching your life. You grow from engaging with it. The life you keep imagining will stay imaginary if you never put yourself in forward movement. Listen, sometimes you got to go by yourself. And this was one of the things that really plagued me and kept me stuck, like I told y'all. I didn't want to go by myself because like, truth be told, I feel like I spent a lot of time by myself, right? But once I started moving by myself and stopped worrying about what other people doing, are they serious or are they not serious? Hey man, I ain't got time for that. I'm focusing, I'm practicing on my own reps. I'm working on becoming. And I want to say this because we live in a society where we make wearing masks okay. When I'm talking about becoming, I'm not asking you to pretend. I'm asking you to choose. I'm asking you to practice. I'm asking you to actually let out that version of you that has been waiting on the inside to come up out of you. Waiting for you to stop shrinking. Waiting for you to take the risk. Guess what? If you fail, guess what that means? You tried. So it's really not even a failure. It's a way for you to learn, refine, and try again. What Aaliyah used to say, dust yourself off and try again. Yo, that is the way of life. When you find yourself making missteps, you take your moment, you see what went wrong, and you try it again. And guess what? You ain't even got to wait till tomorrow. You can realize you messing up right now and start fresh right now, today, in this moment. You don't have to wait. I'm telling y'all, you are in charge. And you're going to meet some really dope people along your journey. So don't be afraid to let go of the people that's benefiting from you staying stuck, benefiting from you staying complacent, benefit from you shrinking. Because at the end, all y'all going to be standing there unfulfilled, continuing to let life pass you by, watching everybody else live life and have life when that very much could have been you.